Welcome to the Bookers Alliance podcast, where we hold the pencil and the pencil is power. Coming at you right now is your host, Marky Mark, along with the man, the myth, the legend, Frank Donaldson. Join us as we discuss the ever-changing landscape of professional wrestling. So hang on tight, you jabronis, and enjoy the ride. Welcome in, everybody. Thank you for joining today's episode of the Bookers Alliance podcast. Come on inside the house, bring yourself up a ringside seat, get your soda, your popcorn, your whiskey, get everything you need. Sounds like we're going to have a baby shower in here today.
Yeah, so this week I need you to bring your diapers, your formula, your Similac, all your baby stuff in here.
Somebody got a milk allergy.
Yeah, because there always could be one now. It's 2025.
That's right.
But yeah, because now instead of knocking back a glass of whiskey, we're gonna knock back a glass of breast milk.
Oh, we know. Nah, I ain't drinking that shit. No, we still have whiskey. Now, we still have whiskey.
Now hold on now, because I mean, so with Naomi's breast milk, that might be a good form of chocolate milk that you ain't had yet. You might want to.
There's that word again. Y'all should have been here for the pre-show. Y'all missed the pre-show. I'm sorry.
We need you guys to weigh in, right? Because I'm taking the word that spells CHOCOLATE as chocolate, and somehow my buddy over here thinks it's another phrase.
It's pronounced chocolate.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I don't know.
How you say it again?
Chocolate.
Chocolate.
Right. I accentuate every letter. Right. I make sure every letter is respected.
You sound like Mark Henry over
somehow
there.
Somehow or another, you've taken it to CHAKLIT. What the hell? What are we doing here right now? No, I need you to use all them other letters.
I ain't got time for that. So let's first, before we get too far in, episode title, we having a baby. Not us. No, not us.
No, not the show. There won't be a third member. Having a baby. The third man. Who's the third man? There won't be a third man.
Not the third man, no. So
producers and all that, y'all, they work behind the scenes. We ain't having no third man on the mic.
So today's topic is about Naomi, her big announcement. They're, pregnant, gonna bring another little bloodline member into the world. But if anything,
little Jimmy,
wow, if anything deserves a toast,
yeah.
This deserves a toast. So today's sponsor, Crown Royal Reserve, age 12 years. That's what sponsor is today. But we got to give a toast to Naomi and Big Jim.
Big Jim.
Congratulations
to you both.
Proceeding
with caution. Toast for the little guy. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that. So obviously, let's start off the show. We're talking about Naomi, her big announcement that got thrown out there on Monday Night Raw. Naomi announced that she is with child and had to vacate the WWE Women's World Championship.
Worst kept rumor in wrestling.
Yeah, everybody knew this was coming.
Yeah, I mean, when she bowed out last week due to medical reasons, everybody was like, well, wait a minute. She wasn't hurt.
She wasn't
2
injured.
weeks ago when we saw her. She wrestled, she got up, she left fine. What the good it be? So, yeah, I think everybody speculated. And, even a broken clock was right twice a day. So,
correct.
Everybody hit it on the head. Naomi's with child at a higher age.
Yeah, she's definitely high risk. But trust me, from experience, we ain't going into that topic.
There you go. Nothing wrong with that either. So,
but let's talk about how she announced this to the world. So first things first, they teed up some video footage of Naomi and Big Jim on Stephanie's podcast.
Wait, are we really going with the Big Jim reference now? Because
if we went with Big Bronson Reed, we got to go with Big Jim.
Well, yeah, but when I saw her lay the title down, all I was seeing was Slim Jim.
Slim Jim.
Yeah, and I'm like,
Yeah.
Slim Jim done violated over there. That's what
happened. That's what happened afterward. Big Jim went to Slim Jim.
I mean, did you see how she knelt down over the Big Jim, over the Slim Jim?
Yeah.
I was like, that's probably how it happened.
Yeah,
too.
She gave that belt to Jim. That's who beat her.
So yeah, no, we didn't want to say it with the belt though, because that's a page reference, and we don't like to bring that up here on the podcast. We just leave that alone. The NXT women's title retired forever because of the antics of one page.
But so they did the announcement on the podcast, and then Naomi got to getting on the mic, which, my God, may be one of the best shoot work promos I have ever heard.
Yeah, so she tried her best You got to give her credit. She tried her best to stay in character.
She tried her best.
She went out there. She tried to heal on that crowd. That Philadelphia crowd said, you know what? Nope. We going to show you this love tonight. You just going to take this.
I take this love.
Right. Dude.
So first things first, though, Pierce, look, I know you said you got kids. You must forgot. Like, that was her ring in that moment. She told you to get the F out of her ring. Yep. She ain't got time for your shit, as she said. Yep. She ain't got time for it. And I was dying laughing.
Well, I mean, I saw as soon as he was in the ring, and he kept talking, I'm like, all right, they're going to try and live into the heel gimmick. And I'm like, and I figured it would be fun, and it was fun. Pierce played the role like he was supposed to. He was kind of the cowardly, face that was, I'm intimidated, by the heel. But at the end of the day, the fans just weren't having it. They refused. They said, you know what? We'll play into it a little bit, but they're like, no, we appreciate what you've done for us the last couple years. We really like this run. And we get that you probably are, torn about the timing of this whole thing based on where her career was going versus, life goals and whatnot. But they're like, damn it, we're just going to show you this love and, and you just going to have to deal with it. So, and you can see it on her face. I mean, as she would heal and she would go off and she was living it. She was dedicated to, I'm going to curse y'all out. I'm going to make you look like fools. And then like 2 seconds later, she was damn near in tears because they were like, okay, yeah, we got it. Boo. But no, really. Yay. And then she was like, at some point you got to know, I got to tap this one out. But I commend her for sticking with it.
We even got Baby Uso chants.
Baby Uso. And she broke in again too. As she heard it, it's like, ooh. Yep.
But I will say this. I did go and listen to that extra 18 minutes as they tagged on to the podcast. From Stephanie's podcast.
And I did too, because I like watching some Stephanie and What's Your Story?
Who doesn't?
Yeah. I mean, well, apparently the internet didn't, because there were some Stephanie pictures that wandered around out there this week. Apparently Triple H ain't Triple H of 2000. And I'm like, well, yeah, he is 25 years older.
And he had heart surgery.
Right, an extreme heart condition. I mean he's probably not killing it in the gym like he was back then.
He could be tan, though.
I mean, yeah, he could have been tan. Nah, he definitely go. Although I think John Cena took the whole tan thing away now.
Yeah. And them, I don't know about them fashionable shorts he was wearing.
Well, so funny excerpt. Somebody showed a clip of him from 2002. And, it was like an old throwback of Triple H from, his past. Same shorts. So, yeah, Triple H 20 years later.
Triple H is frugal.
20 to 25 years later, he's still wearing the same shorts. And it's like, wait a minute, those weren't necessarily cool 25 years ago. What are we trying to do now? But, hey, what can you say?
But the cool parts of the story, though, was, Trinity. I'm just going to call it Trinity because that's her real name. Trinity had issues, with fertility, not being able to have a baby, and she thought that, it was never going to happen. And Big Jim, he got 2 kids of his own already. But to listen to them kind of glow about the fact that it happened, and then his kids' responses to her being pregnant, both of that just made me feel good as a human.
Definitely a feel-good story for a couple of heels, right? Because, Jim's been a heel a lot during his career. Naomi's currently a heel. But it's good to see him push that to the side a little bit and actually have a good conversation with, Stephanie, who was already a parent, so who understands these things.
Right.
Not like she's corporate Stephanie. I think we talked about that a little bit earlier. How would this would have been received 20 years ago versus how it's being received now? 25 years ago, this could have been all bad, right? Because they would have looked at Naomi, unreliable, can't count on you. We need you right now. You're in the biggest run. How could you do this to us? That kind of conversation. To whereas today, it's more, oh my God, we're so happy for you. Put work to the side. Nobody actually thought about, I think they brought it up in there that Naomi was worried about, I'm in the best run of my career. Is this the right time? But everybody's surrounded. I think Stephanie immediately replied, no, this is far more important than anything we're doing here. And this is her family's company, right? So nobody's more invested in it than her. And for her to actually say, hey, totally put that to the back. It'll be here for you when you come back, if that's what you choose. I think that was amazing. I think that shows a lot of growth in the company. But I think that shows Stephanie's fingerprint on it. I don't think without her, I don't think we would have had the same evolution in the WWE.
I also think, and not to put a cloud of doom over the show or anything, but just also thinking about it, I mean, truth be told, we're in 2025. We're only 5 years removed from the pandemic.
Yeah.
A lot of people's mindsets have shifted since the pandemic.
Yeah.
And for a company to grow like WWE has grown, and not in monetary wise or TV deal wise.
Well, they definitely have done that, but we won't get into that right now.
But as far as
ESPN nonsense,
but as far as growing as a company like Triple H being able to take a day off to go see his daughter play a softball game, something like that, like wrestling back then. You didn't have FaceTime to see your family. You couldn't get off on dates like that. These wrestlers were running up and down the road 300 plus days a year.
Yeah.
They were missing birthdays, anniversaries, funerals. They were missing everything.
It wasn't even that they couldn't get it. They didn't want it.
They didn't want it.
You were afraid if you were missing in a key date, like if you took a Monday night off, you were afraid that, hey, you might lose your spot. You might not be the guy anymore.
If I ain't on TV, I ain't on somebody's mind.
Exactly. Yeah. 1 week away and I could be completely forgotten about. It could be all over. So, they were afraid to take that time off. They felt like, hey, family, kids, anything besides work is secondary. Yeah. And I mean, I think anybody in today's society would tell you that's not a healthy way to live.
No. But just listening though to how it was received, I saw the Twitter post from Triple H, him congratulating Big Jim backstage. And then as Naomi walked through the curtain, just the biggest hug after she had hugged Big Jim's neck. She gave Triple H the biggest hug. They both had smiles on faces. Naomi, I mean, stuff like that. Agreed, like maybe even 10 years ago, that would not have been the case. It would have been completely different.
It's just the atmosphere. And I mean, we're not going to start on like a shit on Vince type moment or anything like that, because we saw Vince in a lot of instances where guys were injured, guys were hurt, that he gave all the blessing, but back when like you said, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, Trish had to retire because she wanted to go be a mom, right? There wasn't a world for her to be a mom and a wrestler at the same time. It just didn't exist. Other female wrestlers had to completely leave the company or do something different if they wanted to become a mom, because there just wasn't a world for it. And the dads, it was like, hey, I might be there for the birth, I might not. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes.
The next day, I'm back out on the road.
If I'm booked in the show in Sheboygan, I may have to miss
exactly.
it.
If it's WrestleMania weekend, hey, that baby's coming out. The doctor's got it. You know what I mean?
Doctor got it.
Right. I'm not missing my Mania payday for nothing, because it just wasn't the culture back then.
Right.
But and again, that's not a Vince thing. That's a workers thing, right? We've heard many stories over the years of Vince saying, hey, you need time off, it's yours. But if you need time off, it's yours. There won't be a paycheck following it because you missed XYZ date. You're not going to get paid for XYZ days.
Right.
Not a lot of guys back then in the 80s and 90s, at least, had the cachet to say, well, I can afford that. I could blow off 2 weeks worth of pay to go, be there for the birth of my first child or witness first steps or see a first baseball game. That just wasn't a thing. I mean, and there was, not until kind of the Eric Bischoff era of guaranteed contracts did asking for time off really become a acceptable thing in wrestling as is. And Ric Flair tell you that it wasn't even acceptable in the Eric Bischoff era, because asking to go to your son's wrestling tournament, get your ass canned in WCW.
Apparently. So we've talked about how it was received by the locker room, by the leaders within WWE. Talk about the fans. Let's talk about the fans real quick. Fans gave an awesome response to her announcing she was pregnant. We've talked about this a little bit, but the fans kind of understand where she's at. It sucks. It kind of sucks in a way because, you're the champ of all times right now, but
on your best run.
But at the same time, it's like, why not cheer for this? Like, why not? Because how often in today's world is a married couple looking at it like, we want to bring somebody else into this world?
Absolutely. And considering her situation, it's a miracle birth, right?
Right.
Anybody that would downplay it or shit all over it right now, you're a bad human being. Like, take a self-evaluation here real quick. There's wrestling, there's we love her storyline, we really enjoyed where she was. Proceed with caution, great. But there's bigger things in the world, right? This is a life goal that she had basically given up on, but she was able to obtain. And running the risk of doing anything that could cause any kind of problems with it, that's never been a WWE thing.
Right.
Even when they weren't all in on, hey, you got to take the time off. If a female talent came to him and told him, hey, I'm pregnant, hey, you're off the road. I mean, those two kind of go hand in hand. And that's a good thing where, obviously there's no world that we're going to say, well, hey, run the risk to get through this one match and we'll be okay. Nothing's that serious, right? You don't take it that serious. But like you said, luckily, the fans in attendance, as she announced it, were receptive in a positive way. For the most part, everything you've seen on social media has been positive from the fans. Now, there has been a little bit of negative on social media, but that's not coming from the fans. That's coming from fellow coworkers.
That's a coworker.
Yeah. So got to talk about that because hilarity ensued. I love it.
So Becky Lynch of all people. Becky Lynch of all people.
What did she tweet?
Posted on Twitter, of all times to do this. How irresponsible of you as a champion.
You're the women's champion.
You're the women's champion.
And Naomi responded back to her in kind and said, I learned from the best. And I said, now, before we go too far, we need to clarify for our not all the time watchers, but all the time listeners. Mm-hmm. Becky was totally joking, right?
Yep.
Because Becky notably did this same thing when she was the champ.
Yep.
She, this is back in Thunderdome days.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't want to think about the Thunderdome, but it happened. Becky found out she was pregnant as the champ, probably on one of her best runs in her career.
Yep.
Fresh off the whole WrestleMania deal, still on that title reign. Everything going great. Got pregnant. Hey, real life stepped in. Got to walk away.
Yep.
Now, how they handled that was she just kind of handed the belt to Money in the Bank winner Asuka.
That was kind of ugh.
Yeah, that was a mess. That right?
was horrible.
But again, Thunderdome, right?
Yeah.
So it didn't like there was anybody in the arena to boo it. So I mean, you just kind of had to take it.
And Asuka won the Money in the Bank, but it was the Money in the Bank at Titan Towers.
Yeah, after she jumped off the roof or some
weird.
nonsense.
It was weird.
That was a weird time.
That was also the pay-per-view where they killed Rey Mysterio.
They did. They threw him right off the edge of the building.
Yeah.
Somehow or another. But I remember back in the 90s, they threw Big Show off the side of a building too, and then he somehow or another wrestled that night. So why not?
So who knows? But yeah, Becky Lynch had a cool response. That was cool.
Love it.
All the women chimed in. Bailey, kind of chimed in, and Zelina and Chelsea Green, they've all kind of chimed in and seen a response. Roman even chimed in.
Roman had a video response for it. Roman sat right in the locker room, fresh off of his domination of the Vision, because we're going with that, I guess.
Whose Vision?
Yeah, the Vision.
The Vision.
But yeah, not the Vision from Marvel.
Marvel's Vision?
Yeah, I mean, right. There should be a copyright thing in there somewhere, but, WWE and Marvel, they kind of share.
Yeah,
especially now that WWE's tied in with Disney. Maybe they work that out in the back, that can be the Vision.
The Vision.
But we'll wander into that another day. But nonetheless, I mean, Roman gave a video response like, hey, proud of you, Big Jim. The bloodline never stops growing. Roman also made definitely a mention of all his kids are up in school age and all that. So all the rumors going around that Roman was just dropping a kid a little bit ago, Roman put those to rest because he's like, oh, no, I've been done. I tapped out a while ago. Now, Jacob, on the other hand, apparently he's producing like no other out there. So
Jacob trying to build his own branch of
he's going. Well, he needs his own tree.
He needs his own tree.
At this point now, one branch ain't holding all them trees. So he needs a tree that'll hold its own little branches. He's got a lot.
But so everybody was, Nia Jax was like, yep, new member of the bloodline. So it's cool. It's cool to see this happening in real life. It's cool to see the story that she spun around it. It's cool to see everybody's responses. All of that's been great. But now there's a big elephant in the room. So
now here's the crux of the conversation here is because a couple of weeks ago, right, you had Io and Rhea in the ring with Naomi. Now, this is before we knew anything. Mm-hmm. You had them in the ring. You had ample opportunity to put either one of those women over, get the title on them, and that would have made this whole thing a whole lot cleaner, right? But again, we didn't know. So we played the way we were living into. Hey, Naomi's smoking hot right now. We're going to ride this thing as long as we can.
That's what Big Jim said.
Exactly what he said. The problem is now they can't ride it no more.
They can't ride it no more.
That train came to a complete stop.
This is a whole another conversation that we can't get into a PG, but I digress.
Yeah, well, at some point we do got to mention, though, while we're talking about trains and coming to the stop, is that Big Jim like that caboose. But that's by neither here nor there. So
Trent says he messed her hair up.
Absolutely. So as that has happened now, that leaves a wide open spot up at the top over on the Raw side of things for the women competitors to take advantage of. But the question is, who does it?
So it's crazy because Io, Rhea have been competing back and forth for this belt for the longest time.
Yep.
You would think the automatic answer would be one of them.
Nope.
It's not.
They just started a storyline with the Kabuki Warriors that I feel like has legs. Like, I'm actually interested to see
where it goes.
Io and Rhea get together to wrestle Asuka and Kairi. I really want to see that. So I hope they don't divvy away from that because of this. I hope they don't pivot too hard. I actually want to see that tag match wander its way into fruition.
I have a feeling I know the direction they're going to go.
What are you thinking?
I don't know who they're going to put it on.
Okay.
But I have a feeling I know the direction they're going to go.
What are you thinking?
So Stephanie Vaquer already has a championship match promised to her at Clash in Paris.
Yeah. Speaking of nice caboose. But anyway, continue.
I don't think they're going to do away with that.
Okay.
I think how they pivot, and again, Hunter, if you're listening, feel free to use this idea.
I'm sure you will. We'll get no credit.
I foresee
no free ticket.
I foresee a 6 or 8 women gauntlet match coming up on this Monday Night Raw.
Okay.
And then that gauntlet match winner will go on to face Stephanie Vaquer at Clash in Paris to crown the champ. That's kind of the way I see it falling.
Not a bad idea. I don't see a better way to do it because of the time frame we're dealing with.
Yeah.
At this point now, we've got
one
Raw
show
left. Yeah, so we've only got one Raw left, and they promised to address it. So,
right.
I mean, at that point, you kind of got to fix it.
Yeah.
Because what we've learned here recently, and I mean, this is late-breaking news as of today, is the next WWE PLE after Clash in Paris will be on ESPN, will be called WrestlePalooza. So, hold on. First, before we wander off into the conversation that we're going to have, let me ask, does anybody out there, any of the listeners, any of the, if you're YouTubing, if you're on any of the streaming service, anybody, right? Anybody that hears within the sound of my voice, who in the hell thought that was a good idea?
Sorry, I just puked in the puke bucket back here.
Is that one of those, like, did they call them today and say, like, at noon and say, hey, guys, we need a pay-per-view, like, coming up here to break into ESPN. We need it to happen. Like, we need the announcement within, like, the next couple hours. And they were like, well, let's see. We want it to be as big as WrestleMania.
Here's how it went down.
Let's call it what?
Here's how it went down. I'll give you the insight.
Okay.
Here's how it really went.
I was at work today, so you might have been there.
Here's how it really went down. So Nick Khan, Triple H.
Tony Khan?
No, Nick Khan.
Oh,
Nick Khan.
That don't sound like
Nick.
That don't sound right.
I know. I'm getting there.
Okay.
Nick Khan, Triple H. They have been feeling pretty bad about counter programming. AEW.
Oh, okay.
And they wanted to extend.
That's fair because apparently John Cena is going to wrestle his final match against AEW's last big pay-per-view of the year. So yeah, that murders that.
So yeah, so they've been feeling kind of bad. So they called old TK. They called Tony.
Because I mean, they're cons.
They're cons are related, yeah, so they got each other's numbers.
They're definitely con men, but that's a different conversation.
So they called Tony and they said, Tony, we feeling kind of bad. We want to give you an olive branch. So our next event is this date. We're gonna let you name it. And Tony goes, ha! I got it! Y'all gonna love this. You remember Quake at the Lake?
Oh,
how about
we remember that?
How about WrestlePalooza?
Oh,
and then they already extended that offer, and they
came back out of it.
So
I could actually believe some of that because I know Tony's from Chicago, and what was it? Just last week's fellow Chicagoans out there listening. Early August, Chicago always has Lollapalooza, and that's like a big concert. Yep. It's kind of like your big concert event and all that. So it was probably on Tony's mind because I'm sure he stopped by Lollapalooza for some of it, and he was like, WrestlePalooza, and then they were like, well, we got to clean it up a little bit, and they just made it WrestlePalooza.
So as we say on this show, 4 letters, 1 word,
nope.
Yuck.
So right, but we're gonna change the to hell no.
Hell no.
Right, 4 letters, 1 word. Hell no.
Hell no.
Yuck. God, I mean, come on, guys. A little bit, but I really think that's what happened. I really think they had like an hour or two to come up with something, and they were just like, you know what? whatever.
Yep.
We just got to get it on ESPN. Who cares? And they just said it and came up with it. I feel like the backlash will teach them to next time get together with the other guys, right?
Yeah.
Have a conversation.
Have a conversation.
Don't just pop off with whatever comes into your head
Who
first.
let Shane McMahon back in the building?
Holy hell. That's a Vince move. That's a Vince move. Yeah, I mean,
that's what Hunter did. Hunter called Vince.
He probably did. He was
Vince,
like,
I am stuck. I don't know what to name this event. Ha, I got you, pal.
Yeah.
WrestlePalooza.
Yeah, he's like, I always wanted to have one. Why not break open ESPN with that? If I'm ESPN, I'm like, wait, now we got to advertise this shit for 2 weeks? What? What are we doing here?
How do we say this?
Yeah,
what do you
if
say?
I'm Stephen A. Smith right now, and I'm looking at my call sheet, and I'm like, hold on. So tomorrow when I'm doing first take,
got to talk about WrestlePalooza.
Right now, hold on. No, wait. I got to walk you through this one. I'm Stephen A. Smith.
Okay.
My mind's already stuck on Molly Curran anyway, right?
True.
All I'm thinking about is like, damn, she crosses some legs one more time. It's a wrap. And then I'm reading my call sheet, and I'm like, wait, hold on. At some point, you want me to work WrestlePalooza into the conversation, and you want it to sound natural? If I'm Stephen A. Smith, I'm like, all right, so tell me what my pay is for that. What are we upping my contract to here? How many more zeros are we adding here to the? Because Stephen A. Smith advertising WrestlePalooza sounds almost as crazy as Stephen A. Smith running for president.
That is true.
Holy hell. What are we doing here? Oh my God, the whole world's crumbling. It's happening.
So speaking about, oh my God, what are we doing here? So let's tell the people out there in podcast land who the running nominee is to actually get this belt.
So I've heard from sources now, I can't divulge my sources, but I've heard they're looking at Raquel Rodriguez as the woman that's going to be the champion of the world.
Who?
Raquel Gonzalez, who's going to be, I don't know anymore, Raquel. So those are the only two I got. So you pick one and run with it. But,
you said Roxanne, right? You said Roxanne?
No, Raquel. Big, strong Raquel. So apparently, and don't get me wrong, if you think about it, her work with both Liv and Roxanne has been pretty cool, right?
And she's gotten really good in the ring for the past
you can see
month.
She's putting the work in, right? You can see somewhere or another she's putting the work in. But, I mean, let's be honest. If you take Rhea and Io out of the picture because of this tag team thing that they're working with Asuka and Kai, there is nobody else, right?
I'm voting for the Chilean mommy, Stephanie Vaquer. That's who I'm voting. You put that thing on.
I could see those two battling back and forth for it. I don't necessarily know if they put it on her right away, right? Because at this point, her first title match, that's definitely not a Triple H style of booking.
You want to shock the world? Let's shock the world. Let's book this real quick in 2 minutes. Let's book this. So let's go with the idea, though. Let's go with the idea of the gauntlet match and then Stephanie Vaquer at Clash in Paris, right?
Okay.
So we got to go through this gauntlet match to give Stephanie a contender.
Yeah.
All right. So in this gauntlet match, let's say 8 people, right?
Yeah.
Let's say Raquel starts the gauntlet match.
Okay.
Let's say Raquel runs through everybody.
That definitely makes her a viable contender.
Okay. What happens if that entrant number 8 in a gauntlet match outwalks Jade Cargill?
Ooh. Now you have a totally different conversation.
And now we get Jade Cargill versus Stephanie Vaquer at Clash in Paris.
And now you have a totally different conversation because at that point, speaking of, since you brought, Jade actually had a reply to Naomi's pregnancy announcement too, where she said, still hate you completely. Congratulations. With a bunch of smiley faces. Awesome. Love it. Yep. Live into the character.
Yep.
But no, back to the topic. I wouldn't hate seeing a Jade versus Stephanie title match. The only problem I have with it is Jade just lost a title match the last time we saw her wrestling on TV. So I don't feel like you can lose a WWE women's title match at SummerSlam and then at the very next pay-per-view you're in the title match for the world title. I just don't. I mean, it'll work. I don't see the cohesion though.
I do feel like maybe this message or rumor or whatever it is about Raquel has kind of gotten out, and people may think, this is the automatic. Yeah, this is a perfect time for Hunter.
It is a good time
to give a swerve.
Absolutely,
and just out of nowhere go, oh, you forgot about this person.
Absolutely, best swerve I could possibly give you. Returning Liv Morgan. Oh my God, you want to talk about make a man happy? You want to talk about sign me up to keep my eyes on the product?
That'd be a good one.
Bring back Liv Morgan a la John Cena when he returned at the Royal Rumble, where he can do the whole arm cross thing and then come out and win the gauntlet. If
she wasn't already involved in the storyline, I can tell you who the Swerve would be. The Swerve would be Nikki Bella.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean,
it's a Hall of Famer.
Earmarked for it at this point. I mean, the slot is there, but yeah, same thing as what we just said about Rhea and Io, right?
Yeah.
Nikki just cemented her program with Becky Lynch. No way either one of those could get out of it. If Becky wasn't the Intercontinental Champion right now, obvious answer.
Yeah, right? Becky would go in.
Right, break glass in emergency break glass. That would be Becky. 100%.
I could see a returning heel Bayley. I could see that. Bayley maybe.
They would have to really like shotgun her storyline because they're trying to slow play it right now with the whole she's going crazy type thing. Yeah. So to alter from it, I think they would have to kind of they'd have to really fast track, and I don't know if that would work. I wouldn't mind it. Obviously that's a good placeholder for a title, but yeah, I really want her character to develop. So yeah, at this point now, I'm thinking. Because Liv just can't come back, God damn it. But I'm really thinking it's probably going to be Raquel. But yeah, no way, shape, or form would I hate a Raquel-Stephanie Vaquer match.
Yep.
And no way in hell would I be upset if Stephanie Vaquer or Vaquer were to win that world title at that point in time.
All right, so we've covered a lot of ground today in a short amount of time. Again, want to wrap up Conversation Day. Congratulations one more time to Naomi and Big Jim.
Big Jim,
fantastic. So drop us a line on our social media platforms. Tell us who you think may wind up with this women's heavyweight champion. Of course, I feel like I booked it pretty good. I'm just gonna say
I'm not gonna complain.
All right, everybody. Thank you for listening to today's episode. We appreciate everything you do for us. And with that, everybody, we bid you adieu.
Peace. Now, next week, if Stephanie
Today's podcast was produced by SBP. You can find our podcast on all major podcast platforms. Also, connect with us on our social media accounts. Search for The Bookers Alliance on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and X.